folks, we want to officially welcome you to tonight's event, our Figure 8 races, sponsored by DWS Excavating at the Delaware County Fair Motorsports Complex. Tonight we have Figure 8 and trailer races. We will have multiple classes for you, starting off with our car class. While we're getting everything set up, I want to thank tonight's sponsors. Our water truck sponsor, Delco Water, Jegs for our announcer stand, Select Outdoor Living for our ticket booth and pit area. Other sponsors include Joe's Towing and Roselle's Machine Shop. Equipment sponsors this week include B&K Laner Excavating, Cold Flush Farms, Mellon Trucking, Rental Stop, Bobcat Enterprises of Hilliard, DEE Laner Farms, and Delaware County Engineers. Couple announcements for all of our drivers. First and foremost, drivers are the only ones to be in the makeup area on the track. Drivers only on the track. So if you have a red wristband, you are the driver. You are the only one to be in the makeup area on the track. Also, when you come in to the track, you will pull forward and the first turn you make will be to the left. Our track officials will help you kind of line up and get into the right area, but just know you're going to pull straight in and your first turn is to the left. So for some of you that have never seen a Figure 8 race, what we do is we break everybody up into classes. There will be multiple heats for each class. So we have our car class, and there's going to be 3 heats in that category. The top 2 from each heat will come back for our feature event. Everyone will enter into the track, and then we put the barrier in place, and it is a race. This is not a demo derby, folks. That is tomorrow night, so make sure you come back out for demo derby. The goal for tonight is everyone maintains that Figure 8 pattern. They do 10 laps to start off with, and the top 2 will be coming back for the feature event. When our officials wave that white flag, that means someone's on their final lap, and then we'll give the checker flag to signal that that heat is over. from this heat will be coming back to the feature, which will be 20 laps. Ryan Gladman is in the red Toyota Corolla. DJ Crest is in the Chevy HHR, that is black and pink, number 42. Josh Bell is in a Nissan Sentra, which is silver, number 41. Joe McNeil is in a Nissan Altima, gold, number 8. Ben Pierce is in a 2001 Mercury Sabre, and Andy Baker is in a 97 Honda Accord, number 40. All right, first heat. In second place is Ben Pearson, and first place is Andy Baker. They'll both be coming back for the future event.
you start in the front, you already kind of have like a crazy advantage.
Yeah, unless you're like that Buick where you're just diving in the corner.
Yeah. Well, you also gotta be tight with your nerves. Like the guy in the green car, the first one, like he was just fucking around in second gear, left off. Yeah, he's like, I don't know. Then he started getting caught up. He's like, he was just, cruising. That's a bit close, but he was on under too much. He should be in higher gear.
Our officials are ready. Are you ready? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
got one more car class, then a bigger car class. So.
All right, attention independent drivers. If you have won your heat and you're in the top two and you're coming back with the feature, we greatly appreciate that you're on top of it and getting over into the makeup area. However, we have to get through the rest of the classes and there's not going to be enough room. So can you please wait to come to the makeup area until you are called? Thank you. Alright, entering in now, we should have Brad Lyons Jr. in a 97 Mitsubishi, which is number 11. Robbie Bannerell in a 2000 Toyota Camry, red number 95. Trent Burton in a Toyota Nissan, it's gray, labeled 1016. Brian Darkow in a Toyota, it is green, labeled number 24. And Pete Smith in a Ford Taurus, labeled 215. And that will round out your last class for our cars in the figure 8 races.
But there's still,
here though?
Yeah.
He didn't want to come over here?
Well, I told him, I was like, we spent $10 to come to my side.
What did he say?
I didn't know if we still had to pay $10 since it's been like an hour.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
All right. In second place in that last heat is Brian Zarkow. And your first place is Fred Lyons Jr.
By himself?
They will both be coming back in the feature event for cars here in just a little bit. But we're going to move on to our SUV and minivan classes.
After the races,
Yeah.
right in the middle of the mud.
After this amazing race that I bought you VIP tickets
The race ends, like, their cars both collide. They're like they get out, they both mad at each other. They turn around. The background pops in.
It was all scripted in the end. Damn, number 215 got up. Wait, when did this happen?
Trucks.
Hey Dad, look, someone has the OG Venom shirt on. Right there. OG Venom. Just tell Jordan to look for a kid who's hitting floss.
All right, guys, moving right along. Entry into the track right now should be Mike Barth in a 2000 Infiniti QX.
Forerunner's looking like it's in pretty good shape. Thing's almost brand new looking.
Zach Pierce in a 99 Forerunner, silver. Nate Bebout in a 07 Chrysler van, it's orange with a number 1456. And Savannah Clark in an 08 Mountain Country pink van labeled 711.
Honestly, I have a feeling the orange is going to cook.
The top three from these seats of this SUV van class will come back for the feature.
Another guess it was pink one. Girl's kitty.
I wonder if
bumper, but 6.5 lost. But that's a pretty good lead there. Alright, we're just checking on everybody. Once again, the goal is 10 laps, and we are in our first heat of this SUV and van class.
Wait, is this class over already?
No, they're not that.
Alright, officials,
So they are?
we're all ready to go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Everybody's trying to get back on pattern, looking good so far.
That fire being moved is messing up that corner.
I hope they fix it.
When you move that one wheel on this far side, it makes it a little bit narrow to get around, but everybody seems to be conquering it all right.
He's not out.
And they're all making it through the middle nicely. And Brian Darkow.
Sure, I'll check it out.
coming in next in a 2012 Jeep Liberty, number 84. And Lee, I'm not even going to attempt the last name again because I'm pretty sure I butchered it the first time. An 07 BMW X3. It is blue label number 67. And then Ryan Darkow in a Jeep Cherokee number 24. All right, in the makeup area for small truck, Ben Cottrell, Brian Baker, AJ Fetter, and Austin Edel. You all need to be in the makeup area for the first heat in small trucks. All right, it looks like our barriers are in place. Officials, are we ready for this last class of our SUV and van class? I'm giving the thumbs up. All right, guys, let's count them down. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
going to the fence.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're good.
We'll still walk behind you. I feel bad.
We also want to thank our other sponsors of Joe's Towing and Results Machine Shop tonight. Dental Water for our water, Jed for our announcer stand, and our ticket booth and pit area for left outdoor living. We have multiple equipment sponsors and donors this week. B&K Linear Excavating, Call Flush Farms, Mellon Trucking, Rental Stop, Bobcat Enterprises of Hilliard, DEE Linear Farms, and Delaware
bungee hook should be from here.
All right, guys, we have the results of that first heat of the small truck. In third place, AJ Fetter. Second place, Brian Baker. And first place, Austin Edel.
I know.
They will all be coming back for our feature event later on this evening.
Okay, if it's put together, I'll leave it with Will.
It looks like AJ is the one getting pushed off the track right now, so we'll see if he can get it started up again. We have a total of 3 heats for this small truck class, and then we will be moving into our truck. Entering into the truck now should be our second heat. The top 3 from all of these classes will get to go back into our feature. Make sure if you guys are hungry or thirsty, you check out both sides of the track for our food vendors and our beer garden. They can get you hooked up with anything and everything that you need. We also want to thank the Delaware City Fire Division and the Delaware County EMS for being on site here this evening. All right, heat number 2, come on in. Justin Dixon is in an S10 that's orange, label number 27. Eric Olem is in a Chevy Blazer number 17. Chris Price is in a Chevy S10 that's blue, number 69. Dalton Purdy is in a Chevy S10 that's black, number 68. And Tim Hoffman is in your Chevy S10 that's blue and purple, 50/50. Justice, and Jared Bishop. All right, everybody, attention. Please make sure that no one is in the track area other than track officials. The rope barrier is there, the gate, the fence is here. Those are there for your safety, so please do not cross that line for any reason, especially while the event is running. Alright, so your winners of the second heat for small truck, in third place is Chris Price, second is Dalton Birdie, and first goes to Tim Hoffman. We'll be seeing all three of those guys come back for our feature event. In now for this final heat of our small truck is Brian Zerman in a black S10 labeled V55, Billy Colflush in a S10 white number 17, Tim Justice in number 43, a Dodge Dakota that's red, white, and blue, and Jared Bishop in a Chevy that's black and white labeled 14X. This is your last heat of your small truck. If you are in the first heat of large trucks, you need to make your way to the makeup area. All right, officials. Are we ready? All right, that large truck first should be Chase Simpson, Jessica Ladd, Brian Kuhn, Jeremy Compton, and Cody Dempsey. If you are in that first heat in the large truck class, area. If you know that you're in the second heat of the large truck, also be making your way to the makeup area. All right, I believe I have the thumbs up from our officials. Fans, are you ready? Here we go. Let's count them down in 5, 4, 3, You just gotta put it in reverse though, so don't worry about it. He's gonna get out of that track. You gotta do what you gotta do. Next round, next to it up. For number 17. He did give it his all. He really did. Bryce Henson. Alright, so something I want to thank you for coming out to our Figure 8 and trailer races sponsored by DWS Excavating. Our announcers stand sponsor Jed. Our ticket booth and pit pass area is sponsored by Solar Outdoors. We want to thank other sponsors, Joe's Towing and Results Machine Shop, and our equipment donors, B&K Leonard Excavating, Coalfish Farms, Mellon Trucking, Rental Stop, Bobcat Enterprises of Hilliard, DEE Lantern Farms, and Delaware County Engineers. Don't miss tomorrow night Demolition Derby to round out our final motorsports event for the 2025 Delaware County Fair. We're going to get those barricades moved out of the way, and we will be moving right along to your car feature event. All features are 20. And be moving on to our car feature of the night where we have 8 cars. I would like to take a moment, and tonight we did have our veterans dinner and honored all of our veterans. So if you have served and are a veteran of these great United States of America, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you so much for your service. And then if there's anyone here who is an active member of the military, thank you also stand. We are so proud and so thankful for the service that you have given to our country to keep these freedoms that we have today. Tonight's event was sponsored by BWS Estimating. We would also like to thank our ticket booth and pit pass area sponsors for Let's After Living, Jegs for our announcer stand, Delco Water for our water truck, Joe's Towing and Reserve Machine Shop. Without all of our sponsors this week here, our motorsports complex would not have come together as well as it has, so we greatly thank you for all of your sponsorship. Alright, we look ready and happy with the track the way it is. We're going to get all 8 cars in. We're looking for Andy Baker, Ben Pierce, Tiffany McCurry, Bryce Henson, Austin Watson, Corey Barker, Fred Lyons Jr., and Brian Darkow.
Oh, sorry. You need to be on the makeup area now. Please
All right, officials, we are ready. Fans, are you ready for our car retirement of the night? For all the top placings here, this is it. This is where they're going to leave it all out on the track. 15 laps is what we're looking for. Count them down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's All right, we'll get a loader out there. After we get the track cleared, we'll be moving on to our SUV and van feature. Looking for Nate Beagle, Mike Barth, Zach Pierce, Lance Kership, Lee Lee, and Brian Darkow. Once again, we want to thank the Delaware County Fire Division and the Delaware County Fair for being on site this week. Another big thank you goes out to our Delaware County Fair Board, our motorsports committee, and all the volunteers who have put countless hours to make this week go off without a hitch. So thank you all so much for your time and dedication. We are moving right along to our SUV class. Nate Peebles, Mike Barth, Zach Pierce, Lance Churchill, Lance Levy, and Ryan Darkow should all be in the track. Officials, are we ready for our SUV feature class? All right, I have the thumbs up, and which feature road race tonight. You'll get your SUV truck out of the track and be moving on to small trucks. Alright, thanks to our little turtle 256 off the track. We will be moving on to our small trucks here tonight for our feature event. For our figure races sponsored by BWS Excavating. In for small trucks should be Austin Edel, Brian Baker, AJ Cutter, Tim Hoffman, Dalton Purdy, Chris Price, Jared Bishop, Tim Justice, and Brian Zerman. Alright, folks, in number 16 is Austin Edel, Ryan Baker in 52, Tim Hoffman in 50-50, Dalton Purdy, number 68. Number 69 is Chris Price, 14X, Jared Bishop, 43, Tim Justice, and Ryan Thurman in B55. Confirming all the drivers, making sure everything's set, our barriers are in place. This is your feature event for small trucks in our figure 8 races. Large trucks, Jeremy Compton, Cody Denson, Brian Kuhn, John McCurdy, Chris Walton, and Sean in the makeup area. guys check out our food vendors on both sides of the track. If you need something to eat, something to drink, and they'll get you all hooked up with anything that you need. Make sure you at the small trucks. We have our large truck feature event, and then it's the moment everybody's been waiting for. It will be our trailer races. All right, officials, are we all ready? Jeremy Compton, Cody Dempsey, Brian Kuhn, John McCurdy, Chris Wilson, and Sean Davis. You are meeting in the makeup area now. You'll be next to enter as soon as we get this track cleared. Cody Dempsey, Brian Kuhn, John McCurdy, Chris Walton, Sean Mavis, Bailey Dresda, Hayden Dempsey, Austin Howard, and Austin McClaskey. Rental Shop, Bobcat Enterprises of Hilliard, DEE Langer Farms, and Delaware County Engineers. this track cleared, this is the moment you've all been hanging around for. It is our trailer races. Now, if you guys have never been part of the Figure 8 trailer plate races, let me explain a little bit. Most commonly we see boats, sometimes campers, sometimes other just regular trailers, but whatever the case may be, you have your vehicle and it is hooked to a trailer. You are going to line up and go around and around in a figure 8 pattern until the last driver is standing and the trailer is still hooked to that vehicle. You can obviously imagine it gets pretty interesting, a lot of debris goes flying, that's why it's our last event of the night. So, this year, we are going to bring everybody in. The winner will be the last one standing that still has their trailer attached and running. We'll do a little bit of cleanup, and then, if you can still run and you want to, we'll do a total of 12 laps with these drivers just for bragging rights only. So that way these drivers can have a little bit of fun too. I believe last year we only made about 3 laps before we had our winner. So we're going to get everything situated. They like the track the way it is, so we're leaving it the same. We'll be bringing everybody in shortly to line up and brace yourself because debris will be flying, mud will be slinging, and it's bound to be a good time. Coming in first, number 1, Travis Smith. He has a boat trailer, Prove Me Wrong. Next up, Ben Pierce. He also has a boat trailer. Tiffany McCurdy also has a boat trailer called Snowflake. She's pulling in her fourth. And Dave Smith is in Smitty with a pop-up camper. We still have one more to come in. Alright, and then Sean Smith is going to end the class. He's got a little motorcycle trailer. Alright, so these 4 drivers are going to make your trailer race class. We're going to get these barriers in place to check with all kidding. We are gonna let Sean Smith come on in with his trailer here. So remove theirs again, get him into the track, and then we will have our trailer.
I don't mean to get up on you guys, but these guys jumped right in front of me, so it's going to grab them on focus every time.
What do you record? Are you recording for anything specific?
Yeah, I'm live on YouTube.
Oh, you are? Perfect. I was going to say this would be easier than recording it myself. Thank you. Yeah.
Alright, folks, this makes me three that I have gotten the privilege to be your announcer, and I'm so glad they asked me to come back again this year. I have a lot of fun doing it, but I have to say, in all the trail races I've seen, the one that's going to get ready to come onto the track is actually pulling a lawnmower. I think that's the first, so I like the variety. We're going to get them started here and hopefully get them on the track soon. Here he comes. This is Sean Smith. Oh, you gotta keep it running, Sean. There we go. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Just take it on out, and we can't guarantee that it's going to work or float, but you'll get yourself a free boat. Figure 8 and trailer races sponsored by DWS. Tomorrow night for the 2025 Delaware County Fair Motorsports Complex event,